Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Myth-Busting Locksmith. And today we are highlighting two myths to be busted, and we are highlighting something else that wasn't brought up in a different video by somebody else that actually caught me out at work today. So we are discussing the hockey puck or hidden shackle locks. First of all, they are called hockey puck locks because of course they look like giant hockey pucks. This is a silver line and it has a nice polished finish. And this is one of two masters, which has got a brushed chrome finish. And the hidden shackle is here in the back. It is the same on both models, so I will show you on just the one. You put the key in, you twist, and the lock comes out. And if we were to turn it over, you can see how the shackle goes in, is hidden, but it is very securely in the middle of very thick metal and a very thick and solid, well-made lump of metal. Now, the distinctive features of these two locks is you can see here the style of the key. This is a master, and it is a real trademark of the pattern and the shape of the key, so very easily recognisable. Whereas the silver line, if we hold it just like this, has a much more squared off and neat finish. So comparing the two, you can see they are quite distinctive in their style. Excuse me. Now, one of the things that was pointed out with the master puck was that a different locksmith couldn't rake them open, but he suggested using a comb pick similar to this, but not one of these or the series of these, because they are simply too thick. So, of course, I went out and I got the silver line and I got the hockey puck. Now, when I look at this one, I did in fact try it with a comb pick, and he is absolutely right. This pick is too thick to go in here. So I have ordered one of his special picks where they contain 4 combs, and the 4 combs are much thinner and they will in fact go in the lock very easily. He did say he couldn't rake this, but I tried raking it and I did it twice in quick succession. One time it took me about 4 minutes, the other time it took me about 2.5 minutes, which in locksmith terms is probably very slow. But if I'm robbing your van of all your tools, 2 minutes or 4 minutes is going to be in and out very, very fast. Now, the silver line lock has a much bigger keyway. This is a very wide keyway, and we are going to look back at this in a second. Now, this goes in very neatly, but this is not a suitable pick to be opening this lock, because the way that it was explained in a different video, which I will not be explaining, doesn't work quite the same as it should with this one. So although this fits, it is not suitable for picking. Now, when I compare the two, you can see how he is describing that this one has a much thinner keyway than this one. It is, the one on the left is wide and the one on the right is quite thin. Now, what I didn't realise at the time was there are 2 types of these. This is the Master Pro, and there is another one which is a Standard Master. The Standard Master has a much wider keyway and could quite easily be picked using any one of these, which I'm going to demonstrate on the silver line shortly, and can be used on this one and on the other, whereas these cannot be used on this one because the keyway is too thin, but it can in fact be used on the other model. Something wasn't mentioned in the video that I watched when I was learning about these. But your first myth is the fact that, yes, these can be raked. I was told they couldn't and the person failed. They can easily be raked. The second myth is there is more than one type. This has a skinny keyway and is not suitable with these, but is suitable with this sort of pick. And the second type would be suitable with these. Now, I will be doing a follow-up video where, once I've got the covert tools for my rather famous locksmith, we will be reapproaching this one and seeing if we can get into it the way that he describes, which is not so much picking, more lifting the pins above the shear line and twisting the lock straight open. So that one we will come back to. I'm not going to spend time picking it today, but I was in it in 2 minutes and I was in it in 4 minutes. So a very heavy, very well made, very nice lock. But unfortunately, as always, the weak point is the keyway and the lock cylinder itself, and it is a fail. I would not put tools in a van and put this lock on it, because my tools would get stolen in a heartbeat. Now, what is slightly worse is when you look at this one. It is also very nicely made. It is also very heavy, and it is also very shiny, and you would think it was very solid with the thickness of this shackle. But unfortunately, and I will show you now, it is also a, see, this is unlocked, this is locked. It is also a very low security cylinder, because if we try and pick it, and I'm sure this is going to take me far longer to do it now than it did earlier. Now, bearing in mind this would be attached to a bracket in or on a van, or would be placed somewhere else where it would be held solid. So the fact that I'm wobbling it on this desk does make it harder to pick, because I have to hold it. Like any padlocks, when people complain that I'm holding padlocks, of course if it was against a fence or a gate, it would be held solid. So the fact that I'm holding it in a vise would be more realistic than holding it in my hand. Now let's just see how we get on with this. Now this is taking a little longer than it did before. As I say, I've done it in about 3 seconds, I've done it in about 10 seconds, and now of course, because I'm trying to demonstrate how easy it is for you, it's going to take me much longer, which is always the way. But at least it shows these videos are genuine, as I've said it before, and I will say it again. You can tell these are not set up. So let's just see how we go again. Okay, this has got to be the worst time I've done on this. Right. Okay. But as I say, it's very tricky doing it on a small desk in front of a camera, because of course it's not on a van or in a small bracket, which would make it a lot easier to pick, because I wouldn't have to concentrate on holding a very heavy lock. And we might in fact weigh it in a minute and see how much it does actually weigh. And there you have it, straight in. So it took me a couple of attempts, but there it is. It's out and in. You see? So, and I've just locked it again. So let's try this again and see if we can do it a second time very quickly. As you can see, that is not turning. Have we done it? It's very tricky today. No, not yet. So as you can see, it is being tricky, but we did it once and we did it quite quickly. But sometimes it's a little more fiddly than other times. But I want to do this a second time for you just to show you. Just bear with me. Nope. Right, here we go. Oh. No, it's not going to do it again, I don't think, but it's the pressure of live TV. And there it goes, you see? It's out again. And there we are, you see? That's twice. So, as you can see in a 9-minute video, we have got this thing out twice. And we have a small demonstration as well. So it just shows how quite frankly, appallingly, these are made. Which is unfortunate, but if we are to look at the keys, and there are many different types the same, you can see that they are almost completely flat across except for one large cut here. And when you look at these keys, as you can see, you've got one deep cut there and the rest is almost completely flat. So unfortunately, using one of these, and I have tried the master lock, I used one of these as well as a combination. They are very easy to get into, and as I say, worst scenario, we're into 10 minutes and 39 seconds of this video. You've had a description, you've had a demonstration. I got into it twice. If I was a burglar, I'd be outside your house. I'm making barely any noise whatsoever, and I'm in your van in 10 minutes or less. So unfortunately, that's that. But please do join me on part 2 when I will be showing the covert tool that is coming from America that I have ordered especially, and we will be attacking the master lock again, the one that has the thin keyway in, and if I can get hold of another one with a wide keyway, we will be attacking that one as well, just to see how they are. So, end of video. I would not recommend the master for love nor money. I wouldn't recommend the Silverline one either, but if I had to go for one or the other, I would go for the master, because it did in fact slow me down more than the Silverline lock. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this video wasn't too long. I have had a couple of people commenting that they are too long. And join me another day when we will be looking at these locks, which are very, very good, heavy, well-made locks. And I learned how to pick recently because of a design flaw that I was suspicious about, because there are so many videos on the internet about locks being easy to pick, and I found about 80% of them are wrong and inaccurate and in fact not correct, whereas this one I learned in about 10 minutes how to work out what the combination was and get into it very, very quickly. I have to say the version did have 5 wheels and it was a 5 out of 10 rating. This has 4 wheels, it's a 4 out of 10 rating, but same brand, same company that makes them, same quality, very heavy, very nice, but as I say, unfortunately there is a very easy way of getting into them, so I will be looking at that with you. Anyway, part 2 is coming where we'll be looking at the shackle locks. So thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and do let me know what you think in the comments below.